Step into the ring, not the one with ropes and gloves, but the one where legends evolve and legacies are rewritten. Imagine this, the echo of roaring crowds, the clang of gloves meeting jaw. Those were the sounds that defined an era. And at the center of it all, Iron Mike Tyson. Once the most feared man in boxing, now a symbol of transformation, resilience, and unexpected reinvention. But Tyson's story didn't end when the gloves came off. In fact, that's when things got really interesting. From jaw-dropping mansions to heartfelt moments with his children, from dizzying financial highs to crushing lows, and from headline-making romances to his modern-day comeback, this is the story of a man who's lived 1,000 lives in one. So, who is Mike Tyson today? We all remember him as the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history, just 20 years old when he made history. Back in the late 80s, he wasn't just a fighter, he was the fighter. ESPN called him the hardest hitter ever. Sky Sports, they crowned him the fiercest man to ever enter the ring. And the money, it was just as wild. In 1987, Tyson locked in a jaw-dropping $27 million deal with HBO for 8 fights. One of those fights, against Alex Stewart, lasted only 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Pure Tyson fury. Then came the $120 million deal with Showtime, setting the stage for legendary battles like his clashes with Evander Holyfield. His total career earnings? Over $430 million. Roughly $700 million when adjusted for inflation. But here's the twist. That mountain of money didn't last. Tyson's empire began to crumble under the weight of lavish spending, shady advisors, and a lifestyle spinning out of control. By 2003, he filed for bankruptcy. The numbers were shocking. $23 million in debt. And even by 2010, the former champ was still wrestling with financial chaos. But if you know anything about Tyson, it's that he doesn't stay down for long. Reinvention, Tyson style. With his fighting days behind him, Mike turned the spotlight into something new and profitable. He built a powerhouse following online. 30 million followers on Instagram, over 3 million subscribers on YouTube, and millions of views on his videos. Social media wasn't just for fame, it became a new revenue stream. He also stepped into the Hollywood limelight, appearing in blockbuster films, headlining VIP events, and even returning to the ring for high-dollar exhibition matches. These moves, combined with savvy business ventures like his cannabis company, helped him find financial footing once again. As of 2024, Tyson's net worth stands at $10 million, a far cry from his peak, but a testament to his resilience and hustle. So, what keeps us hooked on Mike Tyson? It's not just the knockouts or the headlines. It's the humanity behind the legend. The man who had it all, lost it all, and is still standing, still evolving, still surprising us. This is more than a comeback. This is a saga.
Welcome to the world of Mike Tyson, past, present, and still punching. Before the fame, the fortune, and the ferocity in the ring, Mike Tyson was just a kid from Brooklyn trying to survive. Born Michael Gerard Tyson on June 30th, 1966, in one of New York City's toughest neighborhoods, life didn't exactly hand him an easy start. Growing up in the gritty streets of Brownsville, Brooklyn, Tyson's childhood was shaped by struggle. His stepfather was deep into gambling and street crime, and the family constantly faced money problems. By the time Tyson turned 10, those problems forced him and his mother to move, hoping for a new beginning. But trouble seemed to follow. His early teen years were a storm of arrests, 38 times by the age of 13. Most of those run-ins with the law, they started with fights, often with older kids who mocked him for his high-pitched voice and noticeable lisp. But behind that voice was a young boy who could fight like no one else, and someone noticed. It was in juvenile detention where a counselor, who just happened to be a former boxer, spotted Tyson's raw, natural talent. That moment changed everything. Mike Tyson's life would never be the same after meeting the legendary trainer Cus D'Amato. More than just a coach, D'Amato became a father figure, the guiding force Tyson never had. He didn't just teach him how to fight, he taught him how to channel his rage, control his power, and fight with purpose. When Tyson lost his mother at 16, D'Amato stepped in as his legal guardian, giving him the family structure he desperately needed. Another key figure in Tyson's rise was trainer Kevin Rooney, who worked closely with D'Amato and would remain in Tyson's corner as his skills sharpened and his career took off. And that career started early. As a teenager, Tyson began making noise in the Junior Olympics, winning back-to-back gold medals in 1981 and 1982 with lightning-fast knockouts. In 1984, he even qualified for the U.S. Olympic boxing team, but his Olympic dreams were dashed when he lost twice to Henry Tillman. But setbacks never scared Mike Tyson. Later that same year, at just 18 years old, he went pro. His first fight? Against Hector Mercedes. Tyson ended it in the first round with a technical knockout, and it was only the beginning. Fight after fight, he knocked opponents out, often within the first few minutes, earning a reputation as an unstoppable force in the ring. Fans could feel it. Commentators saw it coming. A star was rising fast. But in the midst of the triumph came tragedy. In 1985, Tyson suffered a crushing loss, the death of his mentor, Cus D'Amato. It was more than just the loss of a trainer. It was the loss of the one man who had believed in him, protected him, and grounded him. And many would later say that without Cus, Tyson began to drift, emotionally and mentally, through a world he wasn't fully prepared to navigate alone. Mike Tyson wasn't just winning fights, he was rewriting the history of boxing. His climb to international fame truly began when he stepped into the ring against Jesse Ferguson in a nationally televised bout. Tyson didn't just win, he announced himself. One brutal left hook shattered Ferguson's nose and made the outcome inevitable. Though Ferguson would eventually be disqualified for an illegal clinch, everyone watching knew one thing for sure: Tyson was a force of nature. Then came Marvis Frazier, son of the great Joe Frazier, and a fighter with serious credibility, but Tyson made him look like a novice, finishing the fight in just 30 seconds. That kind of destruction? Unheard of. And it set the tone for what would be one of the most dominant runs in boxing history. In 1986, Tyson achieved what many fighters spend a lifetime chasing. He beat Trevor Berbick in the second round and became the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history, just 20 years old. But he wasn't done. The following year, Tyson defended his title against James Bone Crusher Smith, officially becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion. And when he beat Pinklon Thomas after 12 tough rounds, Tyson made history again. The first heavyweight to hold all three major belts at the same time.
In 1988, the dominance continued. Tyson KO'd former champ Larry Holmes in the fourth round, something no one had ever done before. Then, he crushed Tony Tubbs in round 2. But the highlight? Michael Spinks. Many thought Spinks' technical style could cause problems. Instead, Tyson flattened him in 90 seconds flat. It was official. Tyson wasn't just a champion, he was a global phenomenon. But then, things began to fall apart. Behind the scenes, Tyson's life was unraveling. He made a critical mistake by cutting ties with Kevin Rooney, the trainer who had helped shape him after Cus D'Amato's death. Without Rooney's discipline and structure, Tyson began to drift. He still won fights in 1989, but the cracks were showing. And in 1990, everything changed. Just 23 days before stepping into the ring with underdog Buster Douglas, Tyson's mother passed away. Grief weighed heavily on him. Meanwhile, Douglas, whose own mother had recently died, came into the fight with unmatched determination. The result? A shocking upset. Tyson was knocked down and counted out for the first time in his career. The world watched, stunned. And then it got worse. Tyson was soon caught in a legal storm. In 1992, he was convicted of rape and sentenced to 6 years in prison. During that time, he converted to Islam, seeking peace and isolation. When he was released, he was registered as a sex offender and faced the uphill battle of rebuilding both his career and reputation. Tyson returned to the ring with explosive knockouts and even reclaimed 2 of his championship belts. But the most infamous chapter of his career came in 1997, in a rematch with Evander Holyfield. Mid-fight, Tyson bit Holyfield twice, leading to immediate disqualification and global backlash. His boxing license was revoked. The bite wasn't just shocking. It became the defining symbol of a career spinning out of control. In 1999, Tyson tried again. He knocked out Francois Botha, only to end up back in prison months later for assaulting 2 motorists, a 9-month sentence that once again derailed his momentum. Still, Tyson wasn't ready to give up. He returned and, once more, delivered vicious, lightning-fast knockouts, often finishing fights in the first or second round. In 2000, he floored Lou Alvarez in just 38 seconds. His final professional victory came in 2003, knocking out Clifford Etienne in 49 seconds. A flurry of comeback attempts followed, but injuries and setbacks made it clear it was time. In 2005, Mike Tyson officially retired from boxing. For a man who once ruled the world, Tyson's post-boxing life has been just as fascinating. And perhaps nothing tells that story better than his former mega mansion in Ohio. Once a symbol of excess with gold-plated fixtures, giant pools, and a private tiger cage, the estate stood empty for years after Tyson declared bankruptcy. But in a twist no one expected, it's now been transformed into a church, offering a spiritual rebirth for a space once drenched in luxury.
Mike Tyson's life has never followed a script. He's been feared and adored, broken and redeemed. And while his fists made him famous, it's his story, the victories, the mistakes, the comebacks that keep us watching. Once a symbol of fame and excess, Mike Tyson's abandoned mansion in Ohio has been completely transformed, and the story behind it is nothing short of inspiring. Pastor Nicholas De Hacimo of Living Word Sanctuary spoke to the Warren Tribune Chronicle about how this once forgotten estate has found a second life. For nearly a decade, the property sat empty, falling into disrepair, overgrown and forgotten, but now it's become something entirely new, a place of peace, purpose, and community. The indoor pool, once a luxury centerpiece, has been restored and repurposed into a place for spiritual reflection. The grand living room, which once echoed with parties and celebrities, now serves as a warm gathering space for worship and support groups. Despite the changes, the mansion still carries traces of its lavish past. With 5 large bedrooms, a sprawling pool, and a bubbling hot tub, the house still whispers of Tyson's golden days. The basketball court, where the champ once trained, remains untouched, a quiet tribute to the athlete he was. Inside, you'll find subtle reinventions. The fireplace, once a showpiece of luxury, is now a calming indoor waterfall. The former garage, once home to a fleet of high-end cars, has been converted into a classroom and nursery, nurturing young minds instead of horsepower. Perhaps the most powerful change is symbolic. The steel tiger cages, which once housed Tyson's infamous pet tigers, are gone. In their place now stand community tents, symbolizing a break from the past and a new chapter rooted in growth and healing. Old photos of the estate show its former grandeur. Gilded furniture, a massive front gate, and Tyson's name proudly displayed. And while time and weather may have left their marks, the mansion still stands tall, carrying the weight of both greatness and the struggles that followed. When Tyson filed for bankruptcy in 2003, he had to let go of some of his most prized possessions, including his incredible 50,000 square foot mansion in Connecticut. Rapper 50 Cent scooped it up for just over $4 million, and what he got was mind-blowing. This wasn't just a mansion, it was a private resort. With 21 bedrooms, 25 bathrooms, and nearly every luxury imaginable, the estate was a showcase of over-the-top wealth. Beyond the main gates, a lion statue greeted guests like royalty. Marble floors, wood-paneled staircases, and endless hallways gave the home a feeling of both opulence and mystery. Upstairs, the master suite featured stunning garden views, the perfect peaceful escape. There was even a private steel staircase leading to another level where a massive wardrobe with glass doors displayed high-end fashion like a boutique showroom. The bathrooms were fit for royalty. Oversized tubs overlooking the gardens, sleek glass door showers, and spa vibes throughout. If you were lucky enough to be invited, get ready to stay entertained. The house included indoor and outdoor basketball courts, a game room with poker and roulette tables, and even a full billiards room. Who needs Vegas when your own home is this decked out? Outside, the estate dazzled with its scenic touches. A large pond with elaborate fountains sat beside the court, adding a touch of tranquility. A guest house nearby made sure friends and visitors could share in the luxury.
Even though Tyson had to walk away from it, the estate remains a monument to his peak years, a reminder of the dizzying heights of wealth, fame, and spectacle. Just outside Washington, D.C., tucked away in Bethesda, Maryland, sits a quieter, more personal piece of Tyson's past, the home he once shared with his ex-wife, Monica Turner.
They bought the home together in 1995, and it was their family base through the early 2000s. After their split, Monica, now 54, chose to stay. In an interview, she reflected on the house as a place filled with warm memories and shared milestones. Set about 30 minutes from downtown DC, the property offers stunning views of the prestigious Congressional Country Club golf course, adding an air of calm sophistication to its legacy. It may not have the flash of Tyson's other properties, but it holds something just as important, a story of family, personal growth, and the quieter side of a very public life. From wild parties and tiger cages to classrooms and waterfalls, Tyson's homes tell the story of a man who's lived through extremes and left pieces of himself behind in every corner. Behind every great fighter is a quieter story, the one lived away from the spotlight. For Mike Tyson and his ex-wife, Monica Turner, that story unfolded inside a breathtaking Maryland estate. A respected physician, Monica Turner didn't just live in the house, she helped shape it. Over the years, she expanded the property by purchasing the lot next door, putting her personal stamp on the home and turning it into something truly extraordinary. Today, the estate sprawls across 19,000 square feet, featuring 7 bedrooms and just about every luxury you could dream of. A full gym, a swimming pool, a sports court, a media room, a game room, and even a piano room for moments of musical escape. The front entrance opens up with massive windows offering panoramic views of a perfectly manicured garden and the lush Congressional Country Club golf course just beyond the backyard. But Monica's favorite spot? Her master bedroom, her personal sanctuary. Complete with its own living area and a fireplace, it became her go-to place to unwind and reflect. And just off that suite sits a walk-in closet most can only dream of. Outfitted with a dry cleaning conveyor system, it effortlessly maintained her wardrobe, including some of the special dresses gifted by Tyson himself. Among the many memories made there, one stands out. One day, Tyson's Kenyan white tiger cub somehow got loose on the property, sending the couple and their security team into a panic. After a tense search, the cub was found safe on a neighbor's property. A wild chapter in a home full of stories. Recently, this incredible estate hit the market with a listing price of over $8 million. But what makes the home truly priceless are the memories etched into every wall. Moments of love, chaos, family, and the unique life shared between a world champion and a woman who helped ground him. By 2015, Tyson had weathered personal storms, financial setbacks, and years of public scrutiny. But in true comeback fashion, he turned the page on the past and began a new chapter in Henderson, Nevada, just outside Las Vegas. He bought a stunning $2.5 million home, a move that symbolized peace, stability, and the beginning of something new. This wasn't just another property, it's the only current home that still carries the Tyson name, and with over 10,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, and 7 bathrooms, it delivers in every way. Inside, the home reads like a love letter to luxury. A private media room brings movies to life, a wine cellar is stocked and ready for fine evenings. And with 2 master suites, one on each level, there's space and comfort to spare. Step outside, and the experience only gets better. An infinity pool and spa invite hours of relaxation, while an outdoor kitchen and covered patio make entertaining effortless. Whether it's a family cookout or a quiet night under the stars, the setting is pure serenity. The design details speak for themselves. Arched doorways, checkered ceilings, custom iron railings, and floor-to-ceiling windows that flood the rooms with light. A stone fireplace becomes the heart of the home, where conversations spark and memories are made. And then there's the kitchen, a dream for any chef. Outfitted with top-of-the-line Thermador stainless steel appliances, a massive island with a breakfast bar, and elegant custom cabinetry. It's a space built for both function and flair. This house isn't just where Tyson lives, it's where he breathes. It's a retreat, a statement, And above all, a symbol of a man who's rebuilt his life with grace, grit, and style. From tiger-filled mansions to desert hideaways, Mike Tyson's homes tell a deeper story, not just of fame, but of evolution. With its stunning architecture, top-tier amenities, and quiet elegance, Tyson's Henderson, Nevada home is more than just a luxury estate. It's a symbol of everything he's overcome. Proof that even after the wild highs and crushing lows, there's always room for a fresh start. In this peaceful desert oasis, the former heavyweight champion has carved out a new life, one filled with hope, calm, and a second shot at happiness. But if you think this is where the story ends, think again. Because next, we're stepping into the fast lane, straight into the garage that once held some of the most jaw-dropping cars in the world. Welcome to the era of Tyson's car collection, a symbol of his rise, fame, and taste for the finer things in life. At the peak of his boxing career, when money flowed like water and Tyson was making tens of millions per fight, he did what many dream of. He built a car collection that could rival any billionaire's. While most of those incredible rides have since been sold off, they're still worth remembering. So let's take a joyride back in time through some of the most legendary cars Tyson once called his own.
Bentley Continental GT. Price tag, $250,000. This beauty was all about luxury meets performance. Wrapped in soft leather with custom interiors, the Bentley Continental GT was as comfortable as it was powerful. Under the hood, a fierce W12 engine that could fly down any highway. Tyson didn't just drive a car, he drove a statement. Rolls-Royce Ghost. Price tag, $360,000. Tyson had a taste for royalty, and the Rolls-Royce Ghost fit that perfectly. A handcrafted cabin with thick carpet, rich wood, metal finishes, and even a headliner with tiny LED lights that mimic stars. That's not just a car, that's a rolling 5-star hotel. With a 563 HP V12 engine, it had the muscle to match the luxury. Bugatti Veyron. Price tag over $2 million. Now we're talking serious speed. The Bugatti Veyron wasn't just a car, it was a rocket on wheels. With a jaw-dropping 8.0-liter engine and a top speed that could leave anything else in the dust, it was Tyson's crown jewel. And yes, it still managed to feel like a first-class lounge inside, with leather seats, high-end finishes, and unmatched craftsmanship. Jaguar X220. Price tag in 1992, $600,000. Only a few could afford the Jaguar X220 when it launched, and Tyson was one of them. It came loaded with Connolly leather, heated front and rear windshields, power everything, and an Alpine CD player, top of the line for the time. It was fast, sleek, and outrageously exclusive, just the way Tyson liked it. Lamborghini Diablo. Price tag, $500,000. The Lamborghini Diablo was raw, loud, and absolutely iconic. With a 5.7-liter V12 engine pumping out 530 horsepower, this car didn't just drive, it roared. Sleek lines, aggressive curves, and insane performance made it one of the most desirable supercars of the 90s, and the perfect fit for a man who loved to live big. Each one of these cars told a story of success, extravagance, and a life lived in the fast lane. Tyson's garage was once a jaw-dropping collection of mechanical masterpieces, and while most of those vehicles were sold off during his financial crash, their legacy remains, a snapshot of a time when Iron Mike was on top of the world. At one point, Mike Tyson wasn't just a boxer, he was a walking symbol of extreme wealth and outrageous indulgence. As the millions rolled in from fights and endorsements, Tyson spent it just as fast, and nothing was off limits. One of his most jaw-dropping obsessions? Tigers. Real ones. Tyson shelled out an eye-popping $70,000 per Bengal tiger, and he didn't just stop at buying them. He went full out, building them a custom backyard habitat and hiring a professional animal trainer whose salary ran $125,000 a year. These weren't just pets, they were a power move. And if you thought the tiger thing was wild, wait until you hear this. Tyson once gifted his then-wife, actress Robin Givens, a solid gold bathtub. Price tag, a casual $2 million. That's not just luxury, that's legendary level excess. But it wasn't all for show. Tyson also had a soft spot for generosity, random generosity. There are countless stories of him giving out $100,000 watches to strangers just because he felt like it. If you cross paths with Tyson on a good day, you might have walked away with a luxury timepiece.
Tyson had a serious thing for watches, expensive ones. His personal collection included a $5,000 Rolex Oyster Perpetual, a $12,000 Cartier Pasha, an $18,000 Rolex Day Date, a $33,000 Hublot Big Bang, and even a one-of-a-kind diamond-encrusted bracelet watch combo valued at a mind-blowing $630,000. Every accessory he wore screamed status, success, and swagger. Sure, his spending might seem over the top, and yeah, it kinda was. But these stories are part of what makes Tyson's life so fascinating. He lived big, gave big, and wasn't afraid to go all in, even if it meant falling hard later on. But here's where the story really gets interesting. Fast forward to the present, and you'll find a different Mike Tyson, a man who's not just rebuilding his brand, but using it to do good. Tyson's transformation hasn't gone unnoticed. He's now deeply involved in philanthropy, working hard to change his image and give back to the community. One of his biggest steps in that direction? Founding the Mike Tyson Cares Foundation, a nonprofit focused on helping kids in need. From providing resources and education to creating real opportunities for disadvantaged youth, Tyson is using his influence to lift others up. He knows what it's like to feel trapped by circumstance, and he's making sure others don't have to. Beyond his foundation, Tyson supports several charities and causes, staying involved and present in the work. It's clear he's not just writing checks, he's committed to making a difference and to building a legacy that goes far beyond the ring or the riches. From tigers and gold bathtubs to charitable foundations and second chances, Mike Tyson's story is nothing short of cinematic. He's gone from wild excess to meaningful impact, and if history's taught us anything, it's that there's always another twist in the tale. Mike Tyson's story isn't just one of punches and championships. Over the years, it's also become a journey of growth, purpose, and redemption. Today, he's not only a boxing icon, but a man on a mission to give back, uplift, and inspire. One organization especially close to Tyson's heart is the Laureus Sport for Good Foundation, a global initiative that believes in the power of sports to unite, heal, and transform lives. From breaking down social barriers to inspiring kids to chase their dreams, the foundation mirrors Tyson's belief that sports can be a lifeline, especially for those growing up against the odds. But his mission doesn't stop there. Tyson also throws his support behind the Marty Hennessy Inspiring Children Foundation, a nonprofit that blends tennis, education, and mentorship to help kids from underserved communities rise above their circumstances. By focusing on life skills, mental health, and college opportunities, this foundation empowers young people to believe in their future and actually build it. Through these charitable ventures and a newfound presence in the media that's honest and human, Tyson has reshaped not only his image, but his legacy. He's not just a survivor of fame, money, and pain, he's become a catalyst for hope. We all know the Tyson who shook the boxing world, but behind the headlines and highlight reels lies a man who's faced love, heartbreak, and unimaginable grief. These days, Mike Tyson lives in Seven Hills, Nevada, and while his professional life was filled with knockout moments, his personal life has been just as eventful, though often more painful.
Tyson's been married 3 times and is the father of 7 children, each one playing a unique role in his life. He's also opened his heart to those beyond blood, embracing his second wife's eldest daughter as his own. His first marriage was to actress Robin Givens, known for her role on Head of the Class. The two tied the knot in a high-profile ceremony on February 7, 1988 in Chicago. But what started as a fairy tale romance soon unraveled into a public storm. Their relationship was marred by accusations of domestic violence and emotional instability. They divorced a year later,
on Valentine's Day, 1989. Years later, Tyson tried again with Monica Turner, a respected pediatrician at Georgetown University Medical Center and sister of political figure Michael Steele. They married on April 19, 1997, and stayed together until 2003. Their marriage brought 2 children into the world, including one who identifies as gender non-binary, a reflection of the evolving, inclusive nature of today's families. However, the marriage eventually ended after Turner filed for divorce, citing Tyson's infidelity during their 5-year union. But perhaps the most heartbreaking chapter in Tyson's life came on May 25, 2009. His 4-year-old daughter, Exodus, was tragically found unconscious, caught in a treadmill cord by her older brother. Despite her mother's desperate attempts to revive her, Exodus passed away the next day. The grief was crushing. Tyson, broken and reeling, found comfort and stability in the arms of his then girlfriend, Lakia "Kiki" Spicer, a relationship that would help anchor him during one of the darkest moments of his life. Mike Tyson's story is anything but simple. It's a saga filled with highs and lows, pain and perseverance. From global fame to family tragedy, from reckless spending to purposeful giving, Tyson continues to evolve, showing us that redemption is real and that even the hardest fighters can have the softest hearts. And as his story continues, one thing is clear: Mike Tyson is far more than the legend in the ring. He's a man still learning, still loving, and still fighting for what matters. Just 11 days after the heartbreaking loss of his young daughter, Mike Tyson took a quiet but powerful step forward. On June 6, 2009, he and Lakia "Kiki" Spicer exchanged vows in an intimate ceremony at La Bella Wedding Chapel inside the Las Vegas Hilton. There were no crowds, no media frenzy, just a deeply personal moment of healing, love, and the hope of new beginnings. Their union became a turning point for Tyson, a man who had been through the depths of tragedy. Together, he and Kiki welcomed 2 beautiful children into the world, a daughter named Milan and a son named Morocco. With their birth came a renewed sense of purpose and joy, a light that helped guide Tyson through the shadows of his past. Today, Tyson continues his journey with the same fierce determination that once made him the most feared man in the ring. But now, that fight is for something greater: family, redemption, and lasting peace. Thank you for coming along on this emotional ride through the extraordinary life of Mike Tyson, a story of power, pain, transformation, and growth. If you found this story as inspiring as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more deep dives into the real lives behind your favorite celebrities. Your support keeps these stories coming. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.